Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we have who will defeat each champion for both WWE and NXT. Now, we have done this in the past, but obviously a lot of things have changed since then. I don't know when the last time we did, but yeah, a lot of belts have changed as of late as well, so yeah, should be pretty fun. And yeah, ready to get into things?
Yeah, this has been the first time that we've seen this many belts kind of change in the lead up to Mania, especially this close. So yeah, a lot of interesting things happened since the last time we've done it.
Yeah, and we're going to start off with Stephanie Vaquer. Now, she is a double champion, so let's first talk about her world champion. Who is the person to take it off of her?
So obviously, I think she'll probably hold on to that world title for a long time. However, if I had to pick someone, I'm not going to say Jordynne Grace, which is probably the pick that a lot of people would go to. Only because I would want Jordynne Grace to come up to the main roster quick. So the person that I am going to pick is Kalani Jordan. I feel like she's someone who was the first women's North American champion, so they trusted her a lot. So why not let her kind of get that big push maybe as a heel this time?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. But for me, like you said, I will go with the more obvious pick in Jordynne Grace. If she is going to stay there, that's probably the main reason. But yeah, if she's able to go up quicker, then I wouldn't mind her not winning a belt, like you said, going straight up. But now let's go on to the women's North American champion, obviously still Stephanie Vaquer. Who will take that belt off of her?
Obviously kind of spoiled it with my first one, but this is where I have Jordynne Grace slotted in and taking this belt for a short run before going to the main roster.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to go with Sol Ruca. She kind of fits the mold of the North American champion, more the high flyers, maybe some stiff hitters with Fallon Henley and Stephanie Vaquer. But yeah, I think she's been doing great. This stuff with her and Zara could be really fun. Maybe that could be her first feud after they split or something like that. And yeah, I think she's just been great pretty much since she's debuted, basically. And yeah, this is a good way to reward her.
For sure.
Then next up, we have the best tag team of all time, Fraxium. Who do you have defeating them?
So obviously this is probably the hardest one to pick because at least in kayfabe way right now, no one should really be able to beat them. They've defeated nearly everyone on the roster at least once at this point. But the people I do have is Josh Briggs and Inamura taking them over. They've been looking really good recently, been building a lot of hype. I've been liking the in-ring work from the both of them. So yeah, it'd be great to see them with some gold.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind that. They're definitely probably one of my more favorite tag teams. But yeah, I think hopefully when they do lose it, I still don't want them to get pinned. So I think my favorite tag team is probably OTM. I think I like the work there and their character work. I like the addition of Jada Parker at times. I think the dynamic between that little group is really good. And yeah, I like to see them get rewarded. And I think there's somebody who could translate probably pretty well with the main roster future down the line. But yeah, whoever does beat them has some big shoes to fill at the Fraxium. Next up, though, we have Shawn Spears, and one of the more recent champions. And yeah, who do you have beating him?
Yeah, I don't really care for his storyline. I don't really care for any of the things really going on with him. So I'll be happy when he does lose it. And I think that person will be Ricky Saints. I don't really see him taking over Oba's title. So yeah, I think he'll be a good opportunity for him.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard because obviously he's still in this story with Tony D'Angelo, but honestly I kind of don't really care. I don't think they will make him a double champ or a two-time or three-time, I guess. I think he lost it to Oba. But yeah, for this one, I'm not gonna go Ricky, but I'll go with Javon because I feel like it's a bit more likely, or Ethan Page. I guess I'll go with Ethan Page instead. But I mean, they had the history with each other. They had the Fatal 4-Way stuff not too long ago. I don't think they did like a real 1v1 type of thing. So maybe that would be a good way to have Ethan if he doesn't get called up.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, though, to finish out our NXT champions, we have Oba Femi. Now, a guy who's really dominant, pretty much since he's been in NXT, but who would try to dethrone the ruler.
So I think someone will dethrone him, and I think it will be very soon. It's looking like we may get some sort of triple threat between Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams. And I do think the person to take it will be Javon. I've kind of changed my mind. I think at first I probably would have said Trick, just have him get the belt back. However, I think in a triple threat match, you could just have Trick take the pin, and Oba doesn't have to lose it, technically.
Yeah, I would love to see Javon as a world champion at such a young age. But for me, I think I will go with Ricky Saints, just because I feel like the North American thing, if he doesn't going to that picture, I think him as a world champion makes the most sense. He's probably one of the best guys on the roster, or most well-rounded wrestlers on the roster. So yeah, I think we just fit in perfectly. And then now to start off our WWE main roster champions, we have the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Now, who do you have defeating him?
So I have, the, I guess, easy one. I have Jey Uso. I think he will finish the job at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I also did go with Jey Uso. Part of me still thinks that Gunther could win, but I'll play the game, and I do think Jey Uso is probably the most likely option right now. Next up, though, are one of our other newer world champions, and that is Io Sky. Who will dethrone her?
So as of now, I'll probably have her retaining at WrestleMania. I could change my mind, leading up to Mania, obviously. And if that were the case, that she does retain, I wouldn't pick one of the two in the match, obviously. So I think the next person up, it's kind of, I guess, a hard one in the Raw division if you're not including a Rhea Ripley or a Liv Morgan, who may be SmackDown bound at this point.
Yeah.
So I would probably say just give it to Bayley. She's, a trusted person, and there's history between her and Io that you could revisit at any time. Or actually, I'm changing my mind. Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch versus Io Sky sounds like a banger to me. Yeah, why not? Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that was one of my original picks, but I did go with Bianca Belair. However, I do not think it will be at WrestleMania either. I do think Io probably will retain. I don't think they're going to have her win the belt, have little to no defenses, and then lose it at Mania. Obviously, she has a few more weeks to actually put some matches on her reign, but I do saw Bianca Belair maybe at a Backlash, so that she can get a few more weeks with the belt, or maybe even in a SummerSlam if they try to rerun it back. So yeah, I think Bianca Belair is probably, the more likely as of right now, but who knows. Then next up, we have the Braun Breaker. Who do you have for him?
So I do have Penta. They're obviously looking like they're going to be going against each other soon. And I think I'm just going to go with the easy pick and just pick Penta. It'd be great to see him with the title. Maybe set up something between him and Rey Fenix at some point. So there's a lot of good things you could do with Penta as champion. And Braun Breaker could always move up to the world title at any point because he's ready for it.
Yeah, he definitely almost be like that Gunther role where Gunther was so down with the IC champion, won the World Heavyweight. Could definitely see that with Braun Breaker as well. For me, I was going to go with Penta. However, Penta will be showing up later down the line. But I did go with Sheamus. This is more of who I guess I want to dethrone Braun Breaker, to finally get the job done, finish the Grand Slam, come IC champion for once, and yeah, it would just be a great time. I think Sheamus has definitely had a career resurgence and has changed his image. I think a few years ago, not too many people were the biggest fans, but now I think he's one of the fan favorites by a lot of people.
For sure.
Then next up, we have our women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria, who's the one to get the job done.
I'm going to say Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez has already beaten Lyra for the NXT Championship. So it's something that you could revisit as well there. It looks like Bayley and Roxy are kind of in a feud right now. Maybe not. Who knows at this point. But you could always involve Lyra in there because Bayley does have that championship opportunity coming up.
Yeah, and I also with Roxanne Perez, I do think she kind of plays a role perfectly. There's a good story there, like you said, with her beating her for the NXT champion, and now to even kind of do it again would be really nice as well. And plus, Roxanne would have had a amazing first few months of debuting on the main roster as well, which she's more deserving of, and can definitely be. They can start building that role of that. Hey, this woman is going to be one of the best in the next few years. And then next up, we have the War Raiders. Now, their reign hasn't been too interesting. They kind of had the poor booking, but who gets the job done versus them?
I'm just going to go with the New Day. I feel like they haven't really done too much as a heel tag team. They've been picking up little sneaky wins here and there, or just having little promo segments. But I think it's about time they start actually getting in ring and backing up their words and doing more heel things in ring. And why not cheat to get the titles or something like that at a WrestleMania? Maybe do it on a big stage. So yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my second pick as well. But for me, I did go, as I previously mentioned, the Lucha Bros. Now, we have seen the Rey Fenix teasers on SmackDown. However, I think that could be a decoy, and they're going to still send them on to Raw. Maybe it's something that happens after Mania as well, potentially, after the draft. But yeah, I think Lucha Bros as tag team champions could really help the Raw side of things because that tag team division isn't as great as what the SmackDown is looking like. Next up, though, let's stay on the tag team champions. Let's go to our women's now. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Who would dethrone them?
So this is a hard one because there's not too many women like really tag teams. There's women who kind of team together, like a Nia Jackson, a Candice, or a Nia Jackson, a Tiffy, stuff like that. But there's not too many actual tag teams. So I will go with the NXT tag team, and that is Lash Legend and Jakara Francis. I feel like they match up almost perfectly for like a big woman to big woman, and then a more athletic woman to a more athletic woman, and Jakara and Liv, of course. But yeah, I feel like that's a good matchup for them. Could be a really good match, and it'd be great to see them win some gold.
Yeah, I would love to see them kind of have that first big debut, or even NXT get the upset win over them. I think that'd be really good for them. For me, I just want my favorite women's tag team, and that is the KC Twins. I think they're just easily the best women's tag team. That is, like me and you have talked about, just doing actual tag team maneuvers and doing tag team wrestling. So yeah, I think that's my favorite tag team for this one. Next up, let's go to the SmackDown side of things, where the newly won Street Profits are the tag team champions, who will eventually ruin their party.
I'm just going to go with Motor City Machine Gun. I mean, every single tag team in the division is all mixed up in these titles right now, which is amazing just to see literally every tag team getting matches every single week, or at least seen backstage, or a promo, or at least seen in the background or something. So it's been really amazing, and I think Motor City would be amazing to see them get a big WrestleMania win just coming into WWE and just get that big moment.
Yeah, I would definitely love it, and that's also why I went with it. Yeah, I think not the fact that they didn't beat DIY at Royal Rumble, the Street Profits are champion. I do think they will probably win at Mania, because I feel like the tag team champions are the one belts that can switch on any given week, really.
For sure.
And then next up, we have our men's United States champion, LA Knight. Yeah, who do you have?
Yeah, I think he'll probably hold it till after Mania. However, I do have a potential debuting Aleister Black coming in and taking the title off of him after Mania.
Yeah, I was going to go with Malachi or Aleister, but I did end up going with Drew McIntyre. Somebody to maybe give the belt a more prestigious look as like a top guy. Unfortunately, LA Knight has kind of fallen down like a notch just because he hasn't been in that World Championship picture. Obviously, Drew is feuding with the main event guys now, so I think him being the United States champion could really give it almost that Gunther-esque rub.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, though, let's go to the greatest, the best Women's United States champion of all time, Chelsea Green.
Yep, the longest reigning U.S. champion for the women here. But yeah, she's been amazing, had an amazing title run. I don't want to see her lose it, honestly. She's been great TV to watch her and her cabinet or whatever, the green cabinet, whatever she calls it. Yeah, it's been very fun. However, I do have someone from the cabinet taking her out, and that's going to be Piper. I feel like they've been slowly building, very, very slowly. There's been a lot of meat chin and stuff like that as well. But I do think either Alba or Piper will do it, but I have my money on Piper.
Yeah, definitely could see that happening. For me, I went with Naomi. Her just turning heel and Chelsea slowly turning face, I think could kind of add that dynamic where just now Chelsea can go be a face for a little while may still be a little sneaky and being a little heelish. But I think Naomi, now with this big heel turn, could really give her something really big for once since she returned. So yeah, I think Naomi United States Championship reign would be pretty good.
For sure.
And then our last women's champion, we have Tiffany Stratton, who gets the job done versus her.
So I don't want Charlotte to beat her. It could happen, but I'm not gonna pick her, even though I do think that that's a strong possibility that Charlotte does just kind of take her out at WrestleMania. But if I had to choose someone that I want it to happen to, I'd probably say Bianca loses at Mania, goes back to SmackDown, and that's how Tiffy loses it. Yeah. But yeah, I'll say Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I definitely could see that happening. For me, I did go with Charlotte Flair I think it's the most logical. Unfortunately, Tiffany's reign won't go down in the history books as what we wanted it to be. But that's just what happens when Charlotte Flair's back around.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, our undisputed champion, Cody Rhodes, who gets the job done and finishes his story.
So I think it'll probably be John Cena. I mean, whether he does it at Mania or not, I think he'll get the job done at some point.
Yeah, I want John Cena as well. I do think he'll be at WrestleMania. I think kind of the nightmare ending in a way of John Cena gets the 17 time, but what has it cost? And it's cost all the fan love. Obviously, when he returned, we did see a lot of cheers and a lot of boos, but yeah, going into May, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, that is all our champions in WWE and NXT. Let us know what you guys would change, and let us know what you guys think of our picks as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.